was your reaction to seeing Ramadan at City Hall, right? To seeing like Muslim prayers inside of your office, your old office? What was your reaction to seeing
it was
everyone barefoot and sitting on carpets?
Yeah, nothing short of traumatic. If people came into City Hall and did that, I'd have them all thrown out. First of all, I read the Quran often. I started reading it when I was 19 and did a paper on it when I was in when I wanted to be a priest, qualified for the seminary. And so, I mean, here's one copy. Here's another copy. This copy gives you the 5 different translations that they use for words often. This copy gives you how they rearranged it so that it looks like all the bad things Muhammad said first and all the good things he said last, and the last cancels the beginning. The reality is it's not ordered like the Bible or any book that you would ever write. It's not ordered in chronological order. The Holy Quran, question marks, I mean, exclamation points and quotation marks. The Holy Quran is ordered in the length of the surah. That's the chapter first. The first surah is short. It's the prayer, the universal prayer they say every day. The second surah is probably one of the 2 or 3 last things that he wrote. It talks about not being friends with Christians and Jews. It talks about killing them. It talks about killing them in war, where you don't have a chance to torture them. He also makes reference to, and then his interpreters flesh out in what they call hadiths, that Allah would prefer if you tortured them. But if you can just kill them, you still get feted in paradise. And the whole 72 versions comes out of a passage in the Quran talking about how if you die killing the enemy are defined as Christians, Jews, and non-believing Arabs, you will go to the best part of paradise, where you will have wine endlessly. Now, remember, they don't drink, right? They don't drink. You will
unless you're Ilhan Omar and you own a winery, but yeah.
Yeah, you'll have wine, right? And you'll have all the sensual indulgence that you want. That then leads to a follow-up hadith that talks about versions available. The only debate here is how many. Some say a large number is meant by the word. Some say 72, some say 79. Now, this is not a religion. When I was 19 years old, I went to the brother who was overseeing my paper. And about halfway through reading this as a kid, I said, brother, I've read a lot of things about Greek Orthodoxy, and I've read a lot of things about the various Protestant faiths. Some of them are almost exactly the same as Catholicism. Some are different. But I can't find one of them that advocates, killing en masse. This can't be a religion. He looked at me. It's not. We've just been either defeated at war or brainwashed for 1,400 years. And don't you realize they're still doing it? This was back in 1966. So I've been, like, when I was there after September 11, when President Bush invited myself and Governor Pataki to his speech to a joint session of Congress after the attack of September 11. And I am enormously appreciative to President Bush for what he did. And he was much more of a leader and much more effective than people ever realized. Just a different kind of leadership. However, there is one thing that I was very upset about. During that speech, he made a statement that sort of guides our thinking, and it's part of what you were talking about with Chip Roy. He said, Islam is a religion of peace. I uttered the word under my breath, but loud enough so that I think George could hear it, that President Bush used on Easter Sunday. O-F, I said. And George looked at me and said, what? I said, it isn't a religion of peace, George. It's actually the opposite. this original war, like Persia. They own Iran because they conquered it. They didn't convert it. We converted the Coptic Egyptians. Christians did. Peter, Paul really, and Bartholomew converted, persuaded them to be Christians. They didn't have swords. They didn't have guns. Instead, Muhammad's successors, immediate successors, invaded Persia, eliminated all the Zoroastrians, we call that genocide, and forced them to be Muslims. And that's why one of the things you see reported is they're running away from the Muslim religion in Iran in droves. It's going to come down to a minority religion in Iran. The Iranians, by nature, the Arabs, it does come from their land, from their desert. The Iranians, it was superimposed on.
You're saying that it disgusts you to see the Ramadan celebrated there in City Hall in New York?
Yes, it's like celebrating a feast of a religion that says in the book there to kill us. And the most prominent display of the religion is a country that for 47 years, every Friday, says death to America. And we don't take it seriously. Isn't that what Hitler was all about? Isn't that what appeasement's all about? Isn't that a lesson that we have learned the hard way, with so many Americans buried in Normandy who never had a life, never had children, never had. John Kennedy wrote a book about this as a youngster called Why England Slept, and kind of proposed maybe we should learn to take these threats seriously right away. Yes. What would have happened if we got rid of Hitler right away? What would have happened if after the hostage crisis, even my hero, Ronald Reagan, said that was an act of war, we're at war with Iran? Or when they took out the Marines, or when bin Laden hit the coal. Maybe if Clinton had taken them out, there wouldn't have been a 9/11. I don't know what they think. And I'm not saying any of these people, Clinton or Reagan, I love Reagan. And you make mistakes, and I sure have made mine. But it's one thing to have done them. It's another thing not to realize they were mistakes. There'd be thousands of Americans alive today if Reagan or Clinton had taken action like that. And then they would have said, oh, gee, they're warmongers. Or are they peace givers, really, right?
Zoran Mandami said something remarkable yesterday, and it sort of chilled me to the bone. People who I think have been white-pilled think that woke is dead. It's not. It's actually stronger than ever, and it's right in front of our faces. And here it was yesterday with Zoran Mandami saying that the wealth of the white household in New York is $200,000. The median wealth of a black household is $20,000. And we're going to reckon with that long history of racism. This obviously is wrong on so many. I mean, first off, white people are the minority in New York, so that they are actually by number the minority population. But then also, obviously, this takes into like the socioeconomic and decisions and free choice matters that ascribe these numbers and that lead to these results, like, are not considered at all in this. It's just straight up Marxism is what it is. Like, this is exactly this is a Lenin style speech, right? Like, this is Hitlerian almost.
This is the real thing.
Yeah.
What you got there is a dumb version of the real thing, meaning right. De Blasio was also a communist. And a pretty convinced communist. His mother was a communist, and I think probably a more intelligent one than him. But de Blasio was really lazy and a weak thinker. So he never could really, he didn't even know how to express his comment. At times I'd want to finish sentences for him. He didn't know how to, sentences I disagreed with. He didn't know how to express it. He didn't know how to effectuate. This guy isn't the brightest guy in the pack, but he's a lot smarter than de Blasio. And he's a lot more committed than de Blasio. I mean, he's just a perfect example of a young, dedicated, atheistic, American-hating communist. But he's got a twofer. He's also he is a great supporter of the most extreme form of Islamic terror and violence and hatred of the United States. It is completely mind-boggling that New York elected him, and should be the source of a great psychological study of what the hell is wrong with them.